In the beginning, Mark and I always joked this was never a club that I ever wanted to be a member in. Who would ever think that when you're pregnant and having a child that the skin is something that can go wrong? And then you realize just how wrong it can go and what it means. But this organization was pivotal for us in surviving those first couple years.
We found out about FIRST when we were sitting in the neonatal intensive care unit. I just had my son, who was born with lamellar ichthyosis, and they actually showed us the educational modules on the website. And so that was really informative, and it was really our first look into what we were dealing with. It was very, very comforting to know that, oh, this, other people know about this. This is really going to help us through, and it was great.
It's actually been a great benefit to us since we were previously diagnosed with one form of ichthyosis, and since hooking up with FIRST and some of the other dermatologists that they work with, that we've now benefited and the kids have been re-diagnosed.
One of the things we try and do through FIRST is serve as a focal point for ichthyosis education for physicians all around the country. So those questions aren't neatly planned. They come in when they come in. We're trying very hard to provide information both on ichthyosis and the care of patients with ichthyosis to other physicians when they need it. You may have heard about our tele-ichthyosis website that we've got, where dermatologists who are caring for patients with ichthyosis who have questions can just with a few clicks of the button contact us and discuss their patients' cases with those here who know a lot about it.
The best part about FIRST is it's got such a community-like atmosphere. No matter where you live in the country, you can always connect with somebody somehow that has your struggles that you can relate to, and that you can feel that you're not alone.
The community for FIRST was a total game changer for us. The sense of community, the sense of acceptance, they really took him under his wing and just kind of made us feel like we found our place.
It's been such a pleasure to be part of FIRST, to be part of the board of FIRST, to be very actively engaged in moving things forward with the organization, because this is one of the most effective organizations in which I've ever participated. At all levels, this organization works because of the energy and the passion and the dedication of its members.
For diseases like ichthyosis, these are rare diseases. Most dermatologists might take care of 1 or 2 patients in their entire career, and even those of us that really work to see the disease and are very open to seeing it, if you were just left to your own devices, you might see 10, 20, 30 people over your career. And so an organization like this, it brings everybody together. I really do believe that we learn as much or more from the patients that are part of the FIRST organization and the families of patients that are part of the FIRST organization than we teach them. The power of having a focused advocacy group pushing the research forward is something that we in dermatologic research and in science research have really come to value over the last 10, 15 years, because especially for rare diseases, sometimes it's hard for individual researchers who have a passion for a certain subject to get funding or to convince government-based funding sources to support them. But these patient advocacy groups are such a powerful voice, both in convincing larger organizations of the importance of supporting research and in generating their own research support, such as FIRST has done with many of its research grants.
FIRST has provided really critical funding for research. They also have funded a number of established investigators who are doing really sort of cutting-edge research. They've funded a number of different research endeavors, both in the United States and internationally, that are relevant to disorders of keratinization or ichthyosis.
It's really inspiring for us as doctors because we get to see the kinds of patients we're trying to help, and it's very motivating, and we learn a lot too. We learn an incredible amount from the kids, from their parents, from adults with ichthyosis, and we bring those questions back to our research to try to move things forward in a way that will benefit them more quickly.
Our goal as an organization is try to reach and connect all these families that do have children with ichthyosis so they can use our resources and meet other families and make their life a little easier.
The power of bringing people with a similar condition like ichthyosis together, whether it's virtually through the website or at a meeting like this, is immense. There are enormous benefits to it. I try and encourage all my patients to become a part of it.
The community extends well beyond the conference. It's like a heartbeat, it keeps going, but then all of a sudden you have that little spike. And that's what the conference is. The conference is that spike that just really feeds our soul. But that community is there for us 24/7, 365.
First set us up to write to each other, and we've been writing to each other forever.
Just that reassurance, when you're off by yourself, back in your regular life and you feel a little down maybe. It's really nice to have that reassurance that there are other people out there like you.
And this is what FIRST provides. They provide the opportunities for families to come together, young families, adult patients, physicians, to have an opportunity to learn about people's experiences, to share what it is to have these conditions. They certainly are conditions that are rare, so people will rarely have an opportunity to meet someone else who has the same disorder, and they come here and suddenly they go from being an outlier to being someone who's normal. And I think that having a sense of community is absolutely critical for everyone, not only people who have ichthyosis, and that's what they get here. They get a sense of community, they get a sense that there are people who are interested in them, people who care about them, that there's momentum with respect to research and with respect to clinical practice.